Hi, my name is Andrea Gintz. My capstone project is what is the effect of a patient-to-nurse ratio of 3:1 have on patient quality of care in the trauma emergency department. The patient's quality of care can be decreased in the trauma emergency department without proper staffing and inadequate patient-to-nurse ratios. Due to this, the patients do not receive the quality of care they should be getting, and the registered nurse feels overwhelmed. In the trauma level emergency department, the care is patient-centered, and sometimes as medical professionals we forget this due to our own issues we are having in the workplace at that time. Patient quality of care should be our #1 goal when providing care to our patients. There are many factors that play into the patient feeling that they have received the highest quality of care. In the Emergency Nurse Journal, they listed some activities to be undertaken in EDs to achieve the best quality of care. Some of these are: study why and when patients leave EDs before they are seen. Introduce timeliness of care to maintain the flow of patients and understand where delays occur. Ensure that staff is regularly consulted to identify problems in patient care and help staff who raise issues to make necessary changes. My problem statement for my capstone project is the trauma emergency department is a place where chaos can occur at any given moment. The standard patient-to-nurse ratio is 4:1, and at times 1 or 2 of those patients are critical care or trauma patients for that one nurse. With proper staffing and patient-to-nurse ratio of 3:1, the quality of care for the patient will increase, and the registered nurse will have more satisfaction with their job. The objectives of this presentation are the learner will understand the importance of a 3:1 patient-to-nurse ratio in the trauma emergency department. The learner will know the current standards of ratios for the emergency department. The learner will understand how a 3:1 ratio will affect patient quality of care. The learner will understand the limitations to implementing this change, and the learner will know the evidence-based research available on this issue. This project pertains mainly to my current place of employment. Not all emergency departments are the same, and I am aware that you have to staff accordingly to your place of employment. But we have a 4:1 patient-to-nurse ratio, and we are a level 2 trauma emergency department. I would like you to imagine your most critical patient and how at that time you are only able to care for that one patient. Meanwhile, the other 3 patients do not have their orders completed and therefore wait even longer. The clinical implications are decreased patient quality of care. Patients are upset and do not feel cared for. Lengthy wait times for treatment. 5 hours is the National Emergency Department standard for treatment. And at times, at my current place of employment, we do exceed that most days. Patient safety is another clinical implication. Patients are not getting treated in a timely manner and could and do become worse. Registered nurse dissatisfaction with job. There's RN burnout and frequent turnover rates in our emergency department. California is the only state to have mandated staffing ratios. Other states have attempted but have not gotten any further than that. California leaders did not feel it had any impact on patient quality of care. A decrease in sentinel events, though, was proven. I would think that that is one impact large enough for me to see that it has changed on patient quality of care. The significance of this project is to increase patient quality of care, decrease wait times for treatment, increase patient safety, and increase RN satisfaction with their job. The limitations to this project is hiring of more staff, financial budget of the emergency department, staff participation and willingness, administrative support, and limited evidence-based research. In the article, Perception of Adequacy of Staffing, the authors state nurse managers in critical care units face unique challenges because of the high acuity of their patients, variety and complexity of equipment. They need to respond to rapidly changing patient situations, both within their departments and house-wide. During my research through the evidence base, I found a Swedish study that is seen here. It identifies with the acuity of patients and how that is taken into effect. Also in the article, Staffing Levels and Patient Outcomes, the authors of the review estimated that an overall increase by 1 RN full-time equivalent per patient day could save 5 lives per 1,000 hospitalized patients in critical care units. Since California enacted the mandatory nursing ratios, there has been little light shone on the positive aspects than the negative ones. Due to the limited evidence-based research on my capstone project, I cannot solely base my project on this information. This project will be based on the observational study once the project is implemented, and the research can guide us through to implement this project. This table shows the 3 phases of my capstone project. The first phase is the planning phase. Prepare the staff on changes, educate the staff, and provide times for input. The setting will be a trauma level emergency department. 18 and older will be the target population, male or female, in over a 6-month period. The implementation phase will be from changing the staff from a 4:1 ratio to a 3:1 ratio. Provide a resource person, provide times for input, and the observation will be taken on a day-to-day basis. There will be focus groups during this time of implementation. During the evaluation, this will be based on patient and family's feedback. There will be exclusion of some patients due to their chief complaint. The questions that we would like to ask is, did this increase patient quality of care? Did this increase the nurse satisfaction? Did staff approve of this change? And did this decrease patient wait times for treatment? The expert interview I had with my clinical manager showed that a decrease in the patient-to-nurse ratio needs to be done, and how it affects patient quality of care, our department surveys that go to the patients, and how it affects the high RN turnover rate. In conclusion, with implementation of this change from a 4:1 patient-to-nurse ratio to a 3:1 ratio at the trauma emergency department I currently work in, I feel there will be an increase in patient quality, and that is our #1 goal. Secondly, I feel there will be a decrease in patient wait times for treatment and an increase in patient safety. Also, an increase in nurse satisfaction. This will not only provide a more conducive environment to work in, but decrease the high turnover rate that we see each day. Thank you for viewing my clinical capstone project. This is Andrea Gintz.